Good evening, everyone. It is 6 o'clock, and at this time, I will call the regular meeting of the Perry City Council for Tuesday, April the 7th, 2026 to order. We do have a quorum this evening. Item 3 on our agenda is invocation and pledge of allegiance to the flag. Mr. Peterson will lead us in the invocation, and Dr. Albritton will lead us in the pledge of allegiance. If you are able, would you please stand at this time?
Please join me as we pray together. Father, tonight we are so grateful for your presence, for your blessing in our lives, and we thank you for the city, for the council that you have given, the mayor, the staff that make this city operate, and pray for the blessing and wisdom on all of them. And we ask you to lead this time of council tonight, that we might have your mind as we make decisions and as we move forward for the city. And again, we thank you for your grace and for your mercy to us and for your goodness. Pray especially for our fire and police force, that you would continue to protect them as they protect us. But we give you thanks for this time tonight and ask you to lead us in the name of Christ. Amen.
Thank you, gentlemen. Item 4 on our agenda this evening are citizens with input relative to our agenda items, except things that will be heard on public hearing. Is there anyone here this evening that would like to address mayor and council at this time? Thank you. Item 5 are recognitions and presentations. Item 5A is the Perry University Class of 2026 graduation. I think we are going to acknowledge those graduates this evening, are we not, Ms. Clark?
Yes, sir. This is the Perry University Class of 2026. This was such a great group to work with. They were very engaged. They are either citizens of Perry or have a substantial business interest within Perry. They were able to learn about all kinds of things, such as community development, public safety, which I think they really enjoyed, very hands-on, but they were very committed to learning about as much as they could about city operations, and we are so proud to recognize them during their graduation. So when I call your name, please come up to the front so you can have a picture with Walker. First off is Miss Yolanda Franklin. Yes, you can clap. Yeah. Next is Mr. Timmy Hudson. Miss Sharon Edgley. Marie Williams. Justin Dwayne. Melissa Robinson. Marquita Lumpkin. Stephen Richardson. Brian Hayes. T.J. Louder.
This is my favorite question first.
Brandy Green. Monica Williams. Shannon McBurrows. Darty Patel. Colbyville. Sarah Dunn. Shanikia Marshall. Ricky Usinger. Maria Matos. Matt Corporal. Tevin Campbell. Daniel Chun. And I didn't do a good job about Morimi. Anyone I missed? Excellent. Thank you, Mayor and Council. This Perry University has been excellent. We're glad to provide education for our engaged citizens to learn more about the city of Perry and become ambassadors for us.
This is a proclamation recognizing Safe Digging Month, is it working for me? Okay. April 20th, 2026. Whereas thousands of times each year, the underground infrastructure in Georgia is damaged by those who do not have underground lines located prior to digging, resulting in service interruption, environmental damage, and the threat to public safety. And whereas in 2005, the Federal Communications Commission designated 811 to provide contractors and homeowners a simple number to contact utility operators to request the location of underground lines at the intent of digging in the site. And whereas the Houston County Utility Coordinating Committee, a stakeholder-driven organization dedicated to prevention of damage to underground utilities in Georgia, promotes the National 811 notification system and Georgia 811 in an effort to reduce these damages. And whereas damage prevention is a shared responsibility, by using safe digging practices, the contractors and homeowners of Perry can save time, money, and help keep our infrastructure safe and connected. And now, therefore, I, Randall Walker, Mayor of the City of Perry, Georgia, do hereby proclaim on behalf of the City of Perry, the month of April 2026 is Perry's Safe Digging Month, and encourage contractors and homeowners throughout Perry, Georgia, to always contact 811 before digging. Safe digging is not an accident. In witness whereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the great seal of the City of Perry to be affixed on the 7th day of April in the year of our Lord 2026. It's signed by Randall Walker. Item 6 on our agenda is a public hearing. The purpose of this public hearing is to provide any interested parties with an opportunity to express their views and concerns in accordance with OCGA Section 36-66-4. This public hearing is now open. Item 6A of our public hearing is a rezoning request. It's RZNE 0225-2025. The applicant is Paul Schofield. Requests the rezoning of property from R-2 single family residential to RM1 multifamily residential. The property is located on Frank Satterfield Road. The tax map number is 0P0450130000. Ms. Carson?
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, sir. As stated, this is a rezoning request coming from Mr. Paul R. Schofield. Mr. Schofield has owned this lot on Frank Satterfield Road since 2024. He is requesting to rezone the property from R2 single family residential to RM1 multifamily residential. Currently, the lot sits vacant. This lot was platted in 1973 and appears to have been vacant since that time. The applicant is requesting to rezone this property to develop 3 duplex-style dwelling units towards the east end of the property. He is proposing to use approximately about less than 1 acre of the 3-acre parcel to allow for proper environmental distancing and single-family residential buffering requirements. Surrounding zoning and land use is as follows. To the north is R2A, which follows the R2 single-family residential standards, and that parcel is currently vacant. To the south is R2 and GU, governmental use. One parcel is vacant, the other one is a government facility. To the east is R1 single-family residential, it is used as such, and to the west is R2 single-family residential, and it is used as such. The proposed rezoning does meet the development pattern for the current comprehensive and land management plans that have been adopted by the city. The property is located in a suburban residential character area, and the recommended mixture for that is for there to be a mixture of housing types. The proposed zoning is complementary to the existing development pattern in the area and should not cause any adverse effects. Proper screening should be naturally maintained between the single-family residential and multifamily residences, and all applicable building codes will apply and be reviewed during the permitting process. No excess burden is expected on city services, utilities, or schools from this development. The parcel is also near an area that is expected to have a low to medium density housing development constructed on it within the next 5 years. Allowing the parcel to be developed brings it into a more active status on the tax roll. It increases the numbers of dwellings in the area and allows for a smoother transition between housing densities. The Planning Commission did recommend approval of this application with the following condition, and that is that the applicant agrees to abide by all floodplain regulations and requirements. And I welcome all questions.
Did we have any public concern voiced about this application in planning and zoning?
No, ma'am, we did not.
Other questions? Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there anyone here this evening who would like to speak in favor of this application? Yes, sir. If you'd come forward and give us your name and address, please.
My name is Paul Schofield. I live at 2831 Highway 127, Kathleen. Purchased this property a couple of years ago in hopes to build single-family residential. According to the FEMA map, there was a small portion of it that was in a 100-year flood zone. So we went through the rezoning, or not rezoning, but the permitting process, and the building inspector said that we could move forward. Once we started to subdivide the property into single-family resident, the civil engineer that was doing the job for me noted that it was, according to the FEMA flood zone, was the entire property was sitting low. So that kind of nullified everything that we had to do. And I was trying to get a LOMA get a map amendment by FEMA. It's been a long process, and we came up to the conclusion that we could do multifamily on one parcel, and it remained in one property ownership. And so that's the plan we're moving forward with. And what the floor plan I'm going to pick out is going to have the parking below the house, so they will be sitting on stilts. I know there's been a lot of questions about the flood zone and that sort of thing. We're going to pick it up off the ground like they would down in Florida, so to speak. So there's not going to be any flooding issues whatsoever, and we're going to abide by whatever civil engineer plans and the building inspector's advice to make sure we're within code and everything.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Is there anyone else who would like to speak in favor of this application? Is there anyone here that would like to speak in opposition of this application? Anyone that would like to speak in opposition? Thank you. Item 6B in the public hearing is a special exception request. It's SUSE 0007 2026. The applicant is Leonard H. Samples, requesting a special exception to allow a short-term rental. The property is located at 1306 Keith Drive. The tax map number is 0P44B004000. Ms. Carson?
Thank you, Mayor. Yes, sir. As stated, this is a special exception request. The applicant is proposing to use the home as a short-term residential rental. This home is located at 1306 Keith Drive, near the corner of Coventry Circle and Keith Drive. The applicant has owned the home since around 2025. The lot was platted in 1982 and has had a home on it since for most of its existence. Somewhere within the last decade, the home became vacant and remained that way until it was renovated by the current owner. The subject property owner proposes to use the entire 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom house for short-term residential rental for a maximum of 8 occupants and up to 4 vehicles. The premises was inspected for compliance with our minimum health and safety standards and did pass. Surrounding zoning and land uses as follows. To the north is RM2, multifamily residential is used as such. R2, single family residential to the south and east and is used as such. To the west is R3, single-family residential, and is used as single-family residential. The proposed use does fit within the residential development pattern the city follows according to the current comprehensive plan. The parcel is in a suburban residential character area, which again calls for a mix of housing offerings. The house is still being used as a residence, which also complies with surrounding land uses. So, excuse me. Shortening the length of time a person lives in the dwelling does not disqualify it as a residence, and no excess burden is expected on city services, utilities, or schools. Any occupants of this potential short-term rental are required to abide by city ordinances related to trash collection, noise, parking, and any other applicable ordinances. And in addition, the owner has added a parking pad to the yard in order to allow for turnarounds and additional parking space for the vehicles. Planning Commission did recommend approval of this application as submitted, and I welcome all questions.
Council, questions? Thank you, Ms. Carson.
You're welcome.
Is there anyone here that would like to speak in favor of this application? Anyone here that would like to speak in favor? Is there anyone here that would like to speak in opposition of this request? Anyone in opposition to the application? Thank you. Item 6C is also a special exception request. It's SUSE 0013-2026. The applicant is James R. McGee, requesting a special exception to allow a short-term rental. The property is located at 303 Martin Luther King Drive. My tax map number is 0P0120011000. Ms. Carson?
Thank you, Mayor. Here again with a short-term residential rental application. The applicant, Mr. McGee, has owned the property for quite some time. This property, located at 303 Martin Luther King Drive, is part of the Bloodworth, Beckham, and Nunn subdivision and was actually platted in 1925. The owner is proposing to offer the home, the 4-bedroom, 3-bathroom home, for a short-term residential rental for up to 8 people and 3 vehicles. The property was inspected for our compliance with our minimum health and safety standards and did pass. There are no known covenants or restrictions. The property does fit with the residential development pattern that the city follows according to the current comprehensive plan. It is in a traditional neighborhood character area. The dwelling is being used as a residence, which also complies with surrounding land uses. This is shortening the length of time that people are in the home, but that still does not disqualify it from being considered a dwelling. Surrounding zoning and land use. To the north is form-based residential. North, south, and west is form-based residential. To the east is government use, and that is the park that I cannot say the name of, with the trail that I cannot say the name of. What is it? It starts with a W.
Rotary Centennial Park.
Rotary Centennial Park. That trail. The residents, any visitors to this parcel are expected to follow city ordinances in regards to noise, parking, and trash collection. The Planning Commission did recommend approval for this application as submitted.
Okay. Questions, council members? Thank you.
Thank you.
Is there anyone here this evening who would like to speak in favor of this application? Yes, sir. If you'd come forward and give us your name and address, please.
James McGee, 131 Blackstock Road, and that's Elko, Georgia, 31025.
Sir.
Yes. Thank you all for having me. Thank you, Ms. Emily, for pointing that out on that property. I've owned that property since 2001, and I used it as a rental property So I decided, me and my wife decided to do more of a short-term rental, like the Airbnb, like that. So we are interested in that, and we hope you all would be able to allow us to be able to have that that way.
Thank you for your comments.
Yes, sir.
Is there anyone else who would like to speak in favor of this application? Is there anyone here that would like to speak in opposition of the application? Any opposition to the application? Thank you. This public hearing is now closed. Item 7, a review of the minutes. 7A, council members, you have been provided with the minutes for the March 16th, 2026 work session, March 17th, 2026 pre-council, and March 17th, 2026 regular meeting. Please be noted that Dr. Albritton was absent from the March 17th, 2026 pre-council meeting. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes as presented.
So moved.
Motion and a second. Is there any additions, deletions, or changes that you would like to make to these minutes? Hearing none, all in favor of accepting minutes as presented, please indicate by raising your right hand. Please let the record show the minutes were approved unanimously. Item 8 is unfinished business. 8A is Purdue Domestic Wastewater Service Request. Mr. Smith?
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor and Council, as you are aware, the city has been working with Purdue, negotiating towards a service agreement that would allow Purdue to deliver their domestic wastewater flow from their Highway 247 spur facility into the city's new A.H. Harris water reclamation facility. As part of this agreement for service, Purdue has agreed to pay a connection fee of $1,071,668. That's to be paid to the city. And initially, there were discussions relative to Purdue providing payments of that connection fee over the course of 4 years. You all heard this back in February. You generally agreed to that, these terms would be amenable to you all, and that message was delivered to Purdue. Subsequent to that discussion, Purdue has come back to the city wishing to extend the 4-year payment time frame to 5 years and pay that connection fee over a 5-year schedule that would amount to $214,333.60 per year. And if you're agreeable, staff will take this back to Purdue, let them know that you're agreeable to this, and then we would bring back to you a wastewater service agreement outlining all the various contractual obligations, both from Purdue's side and from the city side, and providing that service to them.
Questions, council members? Yes, sir.
In addition to the connection fee, am I close enough? In addition to the connection fee, is there any kind of estimation as to how many ERUs they would use? Or is that to be determined?
Generally, I believe, I'd have to look, Mr. Peterson, but I believe it was 40,000 gallons per day. But I'll get that information back to you all.
Other questions? At this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve the request as outlined by Mr. Smith. Motion and a second. All in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand. Please let the record show that the request was approved unanimously. Thank you, council. Item 9 is any other unfinished business. 9A is unfinished business from the mayor. I have none. 9B is unfinished business from our council members. Dr. Faust? Mr. Jones? Dr. Albritton? Mr. Moody?
I have none.
Mr. Peterson? Reverend King, thank you. Is there any unfinished business from our city attorney, Ms. Newby? Is there any unfinished business from our city manager, Mr. Smith?
Yes, sir. Actually, there was one item, Mayor. This was from the most recent council meeting. There was a question from one of you all relative to the Shasta Drive stormwater improvement project. When a question's asked on the dais in a public meeting, I prefer to get back to you all in a public meeting. The question was relative to the improvements to Shasta Drive and why this generally came about. Like, what was the impetus for the city having to actually make these improvements? Generally, the house is in Alpine Valley. That subdivision was platted in 2004, and the house was built in 2005. The stormwater system and all the stormwater appurtenances with the residential areas and stuff were built according to compliance standards at the time. And just over the years, it has eroded or degraded or whatever to the extent where the city does need to come in and make an improvement on that to make sure stormwater flows effectively in the subdivision. So that's why you all agreed to pay the $22,000 some odd to improve the stormwater associated with that project. Just wanted to make sure you all were clear on that.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Smith. Any unfinished business from the Assistant City Manager, Mr. Worthington? Yes, sir. Okay, thank you. Item 10 is new business. Is 10A, matters referred from our April 26th, 2026 work session and our April 7th, 2026 pre-council meeting. I have 3 items that we carried forward from last night from our work session. 10A1 is the Commodore Manor expansion proposal and requests for support via Infill Housing Incorporated. Mr. Duffy?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mayor. Without repeating too much from yesterday evening's presentation, just to summarize, the applicant is requesting the letter provide their development group a letter of support to pursue low-income housing tax credits through the State of Georgia Department of Community Affairs. They would still have to go through a very rigorous application process to obtain said tax credits, but conceptually their proposal is to add 8 additional units to the existing Commodore Manor apartment complex and basically restart the 15-year affordable limits applied to rent for residents within. But I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions, council members? I think we had a fairly thorough explanation of this last night, so at this time I'll entertain a motion to approve the Commodore Manor expansion request as outlined by Mr. Duffy.
So moved.
Motion and a second. All in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand. Let the record show that the request was approved unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Duffy.
Thank you.
Item 10A2 is a request from the University of Georgia Extension Service to close Elko Road on May the 9th, 2026. Major Dykes.
Mayor, as we discussed, the 4-H is having their annual trap shoot here for the state of Georgia. It's going to be on May 9th, 2026, and we're asking for a temporary closure of Elko Road and Lime Rock Road. They are planning to pay for the officers that it would take to man those traffic points throughout the event. It's going to be approximately 500 participants that are shooting shotguns, and so we just want to use all precautionaries and shut that section of Elko Road down for that small period of time.
Okay. Questions, council? Hearing none at this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve the request as outlined by Major Dykes.
So moved.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand. Please let the record show that the request was approved unanimously. Thank you, Major. 10A3 is Heritage Oaks Park rental agreement. Mr. Shoemate.
Mayor and council, we discussed last night about the Heritage Oaks Parks rental agreement changes. In the agreement changes, we're showing to do 3-tier event designations. Tier 1, which small, 1 to 150. Tier 2, which medium, 151 to 300. And a Tier 3 would be the large, 301 to 400, which 400 would be the maximum allowed on the event. Also, one officer being required for every 75 attendees for events without alcohol. If the event has alcohol, it will require an officer for every 50 attendees. And correcting from last night, public work staff were required for events. Tier 1 would be 2 public work staff, Tier 2, 3, Tier 3 would be 4. And the rental would be $100 per hour plus the cost of staff. And officers as well, which will be determined at time of the event being booked.
Okay. Thank you. Questions, council members? Yes, ma'am.
Not really a question, but just a comment. Thank you so much for your time and consideration and working through this process. I know this has been something that's come to us in multiple ways, and the first one being that we were just not going to use the park for rentals. And I really appreciate y'all taking a second look at that and finding a way to continue to have this park available to our public for rentals in a way that is both safe for the park and what it can accommodate. So you've listened to our constituents and to us, and we really appreciate the work you've put into that.
Thank you. Which a lot of the work goes to Mr. Smith and Ms. Newby. They did a lot of the legwork on some of the information. So.
At this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve the Harry Joe Park rental agreement as outlined by Mr. Shoemate.
So moved.
I got a Dr. Faust's motion. Do I have a second? Second. Okay, all in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand. Please let the record show that the request was approved unanimously. Thank you.
Thank you.
10D is a special exception application 0007-2026. This is 1306 Keith Drive. At this time, I'll entertain a motion that reflects your desires on this short-term rental request.
Mayor, I move to approve the request.
We have a motion to approve from Mr. Moody.
Second.
There's a second from Dr. Faust. All in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand. Please let the record show the special exception was approved unanimously. Item 10C is special exception application 0013-2026. This is 303 Martin Luther King Drive. At this time, I'll entertain a motion that reflects your desires on this special exception request. There's a motion to approve. There's a second. All in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand. Please let the record show the special exception request was approved, and good luck on your efforts on that. Item 10D are ordinances for the first reading and introduction. 10D1 is the first reading of an ordinance to rezone property from R-2 single-family residential to RM1 multifamily residential. The property is located on Frank Satterfield Road. The tax map number is 0P0450013000. No action is required on the part of the council this evening. This is the first reading of this ordinance. Item 10E is resolutions for consideration and adoption. 10E1 is a resolution accepting ownership and maintenance of right-of-ways and certain infrastructure in Tiffany South 1 Phase 1. This is formerly Avon Landing Subdivision. Mr. Duffy?
Thank you, and good evening, Mayor. Yes, so the Department of Community Development has inspected the construction that has taken place at the Tiffany South 1 Phase 1 subdivision. As you mentioned, initially started with us under the title Avian Landing. As a part of that inspection, staff found that the water, sanitary sewer, fire hydrants, stormwater infrastructure, and related infrastructure, including the Tiffany South 1 stormwater pond and surrounding 6-foot tall black vinyl chain link fence, along with streets and right-of-way portions including Obsidian Drive, Champaign Drive, Tanis Trail, Gurr Road, and Kings Chapel entrance aprons, all did meet or exceed the city design standards, and staff are recommending acceptance.
Question, council. Okay. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve the resolution as outlined by Mr. Duffy.
Second.
Motion is second. All in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand. Please let the record show that the resolution was approved unanimously. Thank you, Mr. Duffy. 10F is approval for replacement of air conditioning units in the administration building. Mr. Worthington?
Thank you, Mayor. Mayor and Council, within the last month, 2 of the AC units at the administration building at 1211 Washington Street have actually gone out. The 2 units are well past their useful life, being 25 and 37 years old each. The older unit, the 37-year-old unit, there actually aren't replacement parts available to fix it. And the one that's 25 years old, while they are available, the cost of repair approaches the cost of replacement. So staff's recommendation would be to replace them both. In lieu of going out to a formal bid for these replacements, because the summer season is quickly approaching, staff received 3 quotes for those replacements, ranging from $25,780 to $28,220, with the low quote being Reese Heating and Air LLC. Staff's request is that Mayor and Council would approve awarding this quote to Reese Heating and Air, with the funding coming from the general fund, and more specifically the budgeted reserve line item that was established in the FY26 amended budget.
Questions, council members? Yes, sir.
I might just add, I've used Reese at my own home. They're an excellent company. They have great personnel. They do great work, so I'm just happy to vouch for them.
Thank you.
Other questions or comments? At this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve the replacement of the air conditioning units as outlined by Mr. Worthington.
Second.
Motion and a second. All in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand. Please let the record show the request was approved unanimously.
Thank you.
Mr. Smith, would you like to switch 10H and G and put H coming forward to do the update first?
Sure, Mayor, if that's preferable.
That would work better, I think.
Okay. Mayor and Council, just an update on the search for a public works superintendent. As you are aware, that position has been vacant for a little over a month now. The city went through the standard process of filling department head level positions, advertised the position for 30 days, received applications. The applications were preliminarily reviewed by HR to determine which applicants met qualifications, which ones did not. The applicants that met the qualifications associated with the job were provided to the personnel committee that went through the applications. There were approximately 9 applications that were considered. After meeting and discussing, the personnel committee decided to not move forward with any of the applicants. So obviously that puts us in a bit of a position. With that being said, and because it did not work to fill this position with our internal process as we typically fill it, administration is recommending that we move forward with a recruiter and a recruitment firm to work with us in filling that position. You have in your e-scribe a proposal from Sumter Local Government Consulting to take us through essentially a 90-day process where they will work with us proactively, reach out to potential applicants, that sort of thing, and hopefully get back to you all as a body 4 to 5 what they consider very high-quality applicants that you can then interview and hopefully fill that position. The total cost for the services to be provided is $18,000, and again, it's about a 90-day process from start to finish.
Questions, council members?
What's the funding source on that $18,000, Mr. Smith?
It's going to be the general fund.
General fund, very good.
Okay. At this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve the request as outlined by Mr. Smith relative to Sumter Local Government Consulting.
Second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand. Please let the record show the request was approved unanimously. Now, on to 10G. Mr. Smith?
Yes, sir. Thank you. As was discussed, we currently have a vacancy in our public works superintendent position. Generally would like to have, for accountability purposes and single point of contact, that sort of thing, someone over our various departments, particularly our frontline departments that have a lot of interaction with the public and have a lot of different kind of functions associated with those. For that reason, administration is recommending that we appoint someone in the interim, and administration is recommending that you appoint Mr. Dwayne Shoemate, who is currently the assistant public works superintendent. Mr. Shoemate has done a tremendous job for us here in his time at the city. He's very familiar with public works operations, very familiar with the city generally, and should do a very amicable job in filling that job, that vacancy, until such a time as we're able to fill it with a permanent person.
Questions, council? Hearing none at this time, I'll entertain a motion to approve the appointment of Mr. Shoemate to the interim Public Works Director's position. Motion and a second. All in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand. Please let the record show that the appointment was approved unanimously. Item 11 are general public items. Is there anyone here this evening that would like to address mayor and council at this time? Thank you. Item 12 are council member items. Dr. Faust?
I just have one. I had a constituent call with a concern last week, actually, and I just want to publicly thank Mr. Shoemate. You have already jumped in with both feet. You answered quickly, responded right to the constituent with a wonderful result, and I appreciate you so much.
Thank you. Mr. Jones? Welcome. Dr. Albritton? No, sir. Mr. Moody?
Yes, sir. I'm encouraged when I see citizens attending these meetings and during the public comments period. It's very encouraging when I see citizens get involved. It's encouraging, and it's also encouraging to see the eager participation in Perry University. I see some faces in the audience that have been through Perry University before. I myself am a graduate of the 2023 class, and I encourage those who have not participated in Perry University to consider it for next year. Echoing your comments, Mayor Walker, it's a great program. You learn, not to steal your thunder, Ms. Clark, but you learn about city leadership, government operations, economic development, community development, public safety. That was my favorite, but I enjoyed all of them, and it's just a great way to learn how your government works. We work for you, so this is your opportunity to find out what goes on behind the scenes, as well as finding out how the business of the city is conducted during council meetings.
Super. Mr. Peterson?
Just had one. I noticed we have an invitation to the groundbreaking ceremony for the Hasea Playground. Does that mean that they've reached their fundraising goal and have the equipment purchased at this point, or is that still imminent?
Yes, sir. They have reached their fundraising goal. Very, very impressive. They've been able to raise $1 million for the purchase of the equipment, and they're actually having a team in town tomorrow to start looking at the site and preparing for install.
Reverend King. Okay. Mr. Smith, do you have anything additional for us this evening?
No, sir.
Okay. Mr. Worthington?
No, sir.
Ms. Newby, anything this evening? Okay. Thank you. Department heads. Ms. Wharton?
Yes, Mayor. I do have one item I wanted to bring to your attention. Some recent publicity that the city's gotten in the Georgia Business Magazine. It's a very good publication. It's highlighting the UGA Grand Farm. So this project continues to gain statewide attention, and it's a really valuable asset to have in our community. So just wanted to make council and the public aware of this continued attention we're getting.
Yeah, it's continuing to grow. It's got a life of its own out there, so it's wonderful. Thank you. Mr. Duffy?
Yes, sir. Just a few items here. As you all know, we have embarked upon our comprehensive planning update process. So I just wanted to remind everyone we are entering the community engagement phase. We're at the beginning of that portion of our planning process. Our consultant teams will be here for the downtown Perry wine tasting the evening of April 17th. If you've been monitoring the project website, it may have looked like it's a little bit under construction. That the survey is not live yet, however, it will be prior to that date. So they will be engaging with folks who are present at that event, as well as other future events. And just later this summer, I wanted to let you all know we've been working with the Board of Education for 2 additional public meetings, a public workshop projected for July and an open house in September, but we felt it was good to kind of get out in the community a little bit beyond downtown as well. So we're looking at a couple different school district facilities for those meetings. So more to come on that. Thank you.
Wonderful, great. Mr. Coates.
Yes, Mayor and Council. I want to congratulate leisure services participants as we kick off spring sports this week and adult sports too as well. And also on April the 18th at Rosa Park, starting at 9 o'clock a.m., we will have our kids fishing rodeo.
Super. Did you stock the pond?
Yes, sir. I think, not mistaken, I think we stocked it twice this year.
Okay. Wonderful. Chief?
Nothing tonight, sir.
Major, anything from the police department?
Nothing.
Mr. Shoemate, anything additional? No, sir. Ms. Birchall? No, sir. Ms. Clark? No, sir. Ms. Warren? No, sir. Okay, thank you. Item 14 are mayor items. Again, just to reiterate, you've heard several times this evening, our meetings are open to the public and we encourage your interest and participation in those meetings. Our next meeting will be held at our workshop, which will be on April the 20th at 5 o'clock here in this chambers, followed by Tuesday the 21st with our pre-council meeting at 5 and our regular council meeting at 6. So we look forward to each one of you participating in that meeting. There's no requirement for our executive session this evening, so council members, is there anything else that needs to come before us this evening before? Yes, sir. Yes, I will be glad to do that. We will have a large number of guests here in Perry this weekend. We have our, is it the 37th annual Dogwood Festival? I think that's the date. So it will start on Friday and go through Sunday. And we would invite you to come and join the festivities in our downtown area. We should have a large number of guests giving the weather forecast that we have for this weekend. So thank you for reminding me of that. Any other things that need to come before us? At this time, I'll entertain a motion. Yes, sir.
I think we're supposed to have a river cutting on Friday, on Saturday, don't we?
Oh, yeah, the Dogwood Festival, the opening will be Saturday at 10.
Right.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Anything else? At this time, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn our regular meeting.
Second.
There's a motion and a second. All in favor, please indicate by raising your right hand. We do stand adjourned. Thank you.